This one was supposed to be a coronation, a victory lap for the undisputed kings of hockey, Team Canada. But the 2026 gold medal game in Milan, well, it turned into one of the most unbelievable, shocking, and downright unforgettable thrillers we have ever seen. So let's rewind and figure out exactly how it all went down.
You know what? We're actually going to start at the very end, with these 9 words from the legendary Chris Cuthbert. Words that sent one nation into absolute chaos and another into just stunned silence. Just like that, the game was over, the United States had won the gold medal. But how? I mean, seriously, how did a game that Canada controlled from start to finish end with the Americans celebrating on the ice? That is the big question, and that's what we're here to figure out. We're going to go back and look at how this insane result happened step by agonizing step. Okay, so to really understand the ending, you have to get the setup. This wasn't just another tournament game. Oh no, this was the greatest rivalry in hockey, back on the biggest stage with the best players in the world for the first time in 12 years. The hype for this one was just astronomical. And make no mistake about it, both countries were completely invested. You know, you sometimes hear that tired old line that Americans don't really care about hockey. Yeah, well, that narrative got thrown right out the window. Bars in New York City opening at 7:30 in the morning, the entire continent was watching. The stage was absolutely set. And get this. This quote is from Mikey Ruzione, the captain of the 1980 Miracle on Ice team. And he made it crystal clear. This 2026 American squad was no underdog. He basically said, forget the miracle talk. This was a powerhouse team built with one goal in mind, winning gold. This wasn't a long shot. It was an expectation. And from the second the puck dropped, man, this game was played on a razor's edge. The whole thing was just a story of incredible plays and near misses, and it all started with a goal that absolutely nobody saw coming. So we're just 6 minutes into the first period. The game's barely gotten going. And then, bam, the whole vibe just changes. Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet, he pretty much spoke for everyone watching with this one simple, stunned reaction. So let's break this down, because it was just a thing of beauty. Matt Boldy pulls off what pretty much everyone called the goal of the tournament. He gets the puck deep in his own zone, chips it past arguably the best defensive pairing on the planet in Cale Makar and Devin Tooze, turns on the Jets, catches up to it, and slides a slick backhand right into the net. Just an unbelievable solo effort. And the goal wasn't just pretty, it was historic. We're talking about the fastest goal ever to start an Olympic gold medal game in the era of NHL players. Just like that, 6 minutes in, the USA is up 1-0. Okay, so after that early shock, Canada just woke up. They started tilting the ice, big time. You could feel the pressure building and building and building. And finally, late in the second period, it pays off. Cale Makar, the same guy who got beat on that first goal, gets his redemption. He blasts one home, and we are all tied up at 1. And honestly, to everyone watching, it felt completely inevitable. But just when you thought Canada had seized all the momentum, the U.S. almost ripped it right back. In the final seconds of the period, a shot from Brock Faber hits one post, trickles all the way across the goal line, hits the other post, and somehow stays out. I mean, come on. A game of inches is an understatement. That double post miss, it was like it opened the floodgates. The third period wasn't a hockey game. No, it was a total siege on the American net. It was basically Team Canada versus one guy, and that one guy was standing between them and Olympic gold. Former player Jason Demers absolutely nailed it here. The Americans just looked gassed, totally overwhelmed. The only reason, and I mean the only reason, this game was still tied was their goalie, Connor Hellebuck. He went into what you'd call God mode. He was just out of his mind. If you need just one single number to tell the story of the last 40 minutes of this game, this is it. 28-9. That was the shot advantage for Canada. It was just a relentless, overwhelming attack. And listen, these weren't cheap shots from the outside. We're talking about grade A, golden opportunities. Connor McDavid on a breakaway, stopped. A full minute and a half of a 5-on-3 power play. Nothing. Devin Tooze staring at a wide-open cage. Misses. The young phenom Macklin Celebrini gets a breakaway. Denied. Nathan MacKinnon with another open net. Can't finish. Every single one of those should have been the game winner. So after all those missed chances, you just knew this thing was heading to the pure chaos of 3-on-3 overtime. But not before one last massive, dramatic twist right at the end of regulation. So here we go. Under 5 minutes left in a tie game. Canada's Sam Bennett gets his stick up, catches Jack Hughes in the face. It draws blood. And that's an automatic double minor penalty, 4 minutes. For a team that had completely dominated the period, this was just a complete catastrophe.
And as they headed to overtime, this quote from James Duthie just perfectly captured the feeling of dread hanging in the air. Canada had played well enough to win 3 games, but the score was still tied. There was this sinking feeling that all those missed chances were about to come back and haunt them, because in 3-on-3, anything can happen.
And then, just over a minute into overtime, it was over, in a flash. Jack Hughes streaks down the ice on a 2-on-1 and just fires a perfect shot. Goal. Game over. In that single instant, that one goal created 2 totally different legacies.
On one side, for Canada, the narrative was simple. We were the better team, we dominated, and we just gave it away. But for the United States, this was that moment Mike Eruzione talked about. This was the birth of a whole new generation of American hockey heroes.
So, what's the final verdict here? Was this a historic, unbelievable collapse, or was it simply the coronation of a new American hockey power, one that's finally, truly on equal footing with its biggest rival? People are going to be debating this one for a very, very long time. But the one thing that isn't up for debate is that the medal is gold.